quite powerful. Now, in all fairness, I did learn this from, I've been to many seminars and so on and so forth since I was about 19. I think my first one, you've come across Tony Robbins before, Motivational Guy. Yeah, I've been on many seminars. So I did learn this from him, really, his seminars and that sort of stuff, really. So I'll give credit where credit due. I've kind of taken another step forward. In my mind, I've moved forward slightly to make it more user-friendly for the world we live in today. So you can write a belief that you have. These beliefs are deep, so whatever it is, we'll think about it. And then we can look at the opposite end of the belief. So you choose a belief. This is the way I do it anyway. I choose the belief that someone has, so not good enough, not worthy, not lovable enough, I don't deserve good things. Belief generally being centered around ourselves, others, and the world. Self, others, world. Not lovable, no one loves me, the world's not a lovable place, okay? Something terrible happened. Think of beliefs. What are some other beliefs you can think of that are quite, we're going to call limiting? Beliefs that stops from going to A to B. You have a belief you can think of? I can give you a few, some of mine if you want them. and that's what people like. They get a promotion, they sabotage it, they find a relationship, they sabotage it, their belief about self, others, and so on and so forth. And going forward, you can write the opposites. So this belief here, I'm not worthy, good enough, blah, blah, blah. And then we take the opposites. So you write the opposites, okay? You can write the opposite of that belief, and then you can repeat it with emotional intensity. So you can do it if you wanted to, you know, Robbins' style, where he's punching the air and all the music. I'm somewhere in the middle, really, and I would choose to push people as far as they can tolerate. You can do it even visually, and imagine punching if you want to. You're cool. There's no reason to do it any other way that you come with, but put the emotion. Because really, by doing that, you're firing a signal in brain. You're building a pathway that is either there or a new one. Okay. So when you see I do some of these sort of YouTube videos, incantation, I'm doing it on the basis that if you do a really powerful incantation and you put an action into it, you're building a new sense of certainty. What's fact, what's opinion? If I measure this room to the other side and it comes back as 5 meters, tape measure, is that fact? As far as we know, if I say it's a long way, is it a long way? It could be for someone who's got a condition medical. So the key is really to distinguish between two. Confidence, competence. If you said, Jim, do neurosurgery tomorrow, I say, no, I'm not a neurosurgeon. Fly a plane to America next week, no, I'm not a pilot. It's not confidence, competence. But do a presentation on what I do, I'll do it gladly. So most people are competent, but they lack confidence because the system we go through in academia focuses on what we do wrong rather than what we do right. So if you get 5 out of 10, they focus on what you got wrong rather than what you got right. Got 5 right, you get 6 right. Okay. Now, I want you to think now, and you can do it with your eyes closed if you want to, you can do an action, but choose an incantation, okay? And really feel it, and really go with it. And get that in the brain, ingrain that in the subconscious mind, okay? So if you're not comfortable, like, you know, jumping in the air and running up and down Hale High Street, saying I'm lovable, I'm amazing, which I know some people have done and do on Saturday nights. Maybe not Hale, but some other places I've been. But you can do it in your mind's eye. So if you want to close your eyes, you can, and just imagine and really incanting. And if you can't think of one, then you can write, I'll give you the incantation work. So every day I'm getting better and better. Every day I'm getting healthier and happier. So a personal trainer, you could say to the client who's struggling with their weight, incantation. Every day I'm eating healthier and I'm happier with emotion, okay? So if you want to close your eyes, you can, but run through an incantation, okay? So run through an incantation, you're going to close your eyes and imagine yourself jumping up and down Hale High Street, but really put the emotion into it, okay? Really go through it, okay? Every day, in every way, I'm getting healthier and happier, okay? Every day, in every way, I'm getting healthier and happier. Every day, in every way, with emotion in it. And by doing that, you can create a neurological pathway in the brain, like a hay in the farm. When you drive a tractor through the hay, you make a pathway in the brain, a reinforced one that's already there anyway. So you've got 60,000 thoughts. Most are harmless, some are negative. Good way to override the other one. You've got years of conditioning, by the way. This will override the other one, but you've got to put intensity, okay? Which is quite useful to do. You with me on that? If you want the recording should be okay to have, should be come out okay, and also if you want a separate video or the slides, you can have that and work on your own. I know sometimes in the environments people and other people's apprehensive about doing, but certainly I've had corporations, people, really, going for it in their own way. So, okay, the thing you do is emotion. Choose an uncomfortable emotion, maybe sadness, anger, envy, and write the opposite and feel it. Go to the feelings. So, for example, every day I feel happy and healthier. Okay? Because as a personal trainer, teacher, whatever you do, you're not crossing the line across the clinical, but what you want to do is help the person achieve their results. Okay? You want them to be in a better place, better states. And I work with the most challenging people in the country, what they call the worst 3%, who had many issues, and I would do that with them. Some would reject it, some would say, what's this? But some would take it, and some would go on to do GCC, A-level, things that would never imagine they could do. Because emotional state is key. Okay? Emotional state is key. I know myself, when I first went to uni, my first experience in uni was 23 in the UK, at Loughborough University. You heard of Loughborough University? Famous one, okay? They called me a mature age student then. I don't know what they call me now. That was my first experience, but the issue I had, I wasn't academic. I've had lifelong learning now. I've spent the last 20 years really studying 4 or 5 hours a day, if not even more. I've studied so many things, and so many things, but I got a first education. But when I first started, because of my challenges being brought up, and we came from a very poor family with bordering homelessness, and as a 14-year-old I come home one day and said, well, you're going to have to get a job. Dad's injured, I was really, really ill, and it meant sort of trying to juggle school with this horrendous work life that would, finish school, go to work for about 10 hours in the factory in the searing heat, uncomfortable heat, not the heat that we long for, the heat that you can't go for 5 minutes with no air conditioning. And that really sort of gave me the breeding ground to build resilience. It didn't crush me, thankfully, it would crush a lot of people. I had sport as an outlet. I was an international level athlete. I found that. That's my passion about going to schools, going to people out there like me, or at least I was, have a talent. Not everyone's going to be international sportsmen like I was, but they might find their way somewhere. That's my way of giving back. So when I first went to uni, my issue was I couldn't really read or write. And that was a big issue. And I talked to my professor, who's well known, really famous professor, who worked with many athletes when they were all athletes. He said, Jim, well, you've done the hard stuff. You're competing in the States, competing in the UK. Sort yourself out, learn it. And I would go there. I'd think, okay, I can do this. I would graduate one of the top people in class, and thereafter, people don't realise that, right? I didn't know what noun, verb, alphabet was. Bestselling. But I don't brag, by the way. I'm not a bragging person. I don't go broadcaster, but it goes to put your mind to it, you can do it. I taught myself. Books come out, 10 results manuals, if not more, 3 number 1 books. Not blabbing on, it's just purely to demonstrate. When I told young people, because some of the young people will know me in the area they're in, if I worked in their football team in the area, they'll think I come from privilege. I come from no privilege. If I show you where I grew up, a picture, you'd think he's got no chance. Because the people who grew up in my area, identity don't do what we do. So they told me. And my job was to put bottle tops on lids. So I'd put, like, if I can find the lid there, I'd put lids on bottle tops all day. Until one day, the foreman kept getting on my back. He goes, go faster. And I thought, this guy's just doing me head in. Lunchtime, go faster. He goes, you better up your game after lunch. I said, fuck off, I'm going. And he goes, you can't go. No, I'll go. I'm done with this. And my next neighbour got me a job, says, you're crazy, man, you're leaving a great job like this. I said, no, great, you take it. Salty of people, but I saw people on the other side of town in a more developed world. I wanted a piece of that. This, you couldn't do it, I had sports to go into. And I did. And that would be my driving force to do. So I wasn't privileged. I worked with teams in the Premiership in this country. And it's well documented. I get frustrated with being a sports coach because I'm not a sports coach. I'm a performance coach, and I do a lot of disciplines within that. But I say that story to show you that emotion is key. And I believe not to push people more than they can tolerate, but bit by bit, you can do that as well. okay, and if you want to close your eyes, you can. If you don't want to, your call. But put intensity in there. Feel it. Feel and incant it. So you can, punch the air. YouTube stuff I do, I probably come across a daft song that I demonstrate is purely on the basis I know someone could be watching it, getting something out of it, and punch the air hard or whatever, and then you build a connection to that implicit, override it, okay, which is key to doing. Any question on incantation? Okay.
Jimmy, can you just ask, is that why some sports stars or footballers can be perceived as arrogant? It's not actually arrogance, it's that belief that...
Possibly. There's a possibility.
Ronaldo or somebody, everyone thinks he's arrogant, and actually from his background to where he is now,
and it's a possibility. I think you need a degree of self-belief. I know she's looking at me when you still got arrogant. I'm self-conscious now.
No,
I'm joking. I'm kidding.
I think he's just arrogant.
Yeah. No, I'm just joking. Yeah, he probably is. Yeah. I don't know. I can't comment because I don't know him personally. I've seen him in training when I visited my friend at United a few times. We played against them at Newfoundland too a few times. I would think at some point you need to be very strong-minded in a very competitive world. Because we know in a competitive world everyone wants to do what you're doing. But I see and sense a fragility amongst a lot of people too. Not him. I don't know him to comment on that, but I know a lot of people might perceive one thing, the opposite. But I think you're right. It's a good point. I would think to succeed in their area of life that's competitive, you've got to be something about you. You've got to be single-minded. Definitely. Very much so. Breathing exercise, we can practice breathing exercise. With my anxiety patients, I do a lot of breathing exercises with anxiety. Now, anxiety could be linked to many things. Anxiety could be linked to many conditions. I'm not a medical person, but I know anxiety can be linked to many things. So I would first exhaust what it could be. But the anxiety patients I with, sport, presentation, interviews, the first thing I'll say to them is go see a GP to see if there's any underlying issues, because I don't want to treat someone for months on end and there's an issue that could have been treated by them. But all things being well, I get them to breathe through their stomach, and you can practice if you want, because breathing is key. In the work I did with the Air Force, I talked a lot about breathing being a skill to decompress. The reason being is because when you breathe deep, how does an anxiety person breathe? Yeah, exactly. When you breathe really shallow, this part of the nervous system kicks in, sympathetic nervous system, and that is linked to fight, flight, freeze. Heart rate goes higher, anxiety, sweaty palms, okay? And then what happens, they hyperventilate, and they go through a cycle. When you've done a session with me, I give them the audio, hypnotherapist in the room, you can give them audios if you want to, because between sessions they do like 20 sessions, they keep hearing it, but also give them breathing to do, because if you breathe, because you can't have a panic attack while you sleep. It's not possible. The brain knows what to do, okay? So we want to teach the patient, and it could take a while to learn that, you can practice to breathe through their stomach, because by doing that, the parasympathetic nervous system kicks in, and the involuntary muscles slow the heart rate down, the sphincter muscles, increase intestinal and gland activity, relax the muscles, and the heart rate comes down. That happens automatically, but why wait till it happens automatically? It will happen eventually. You can't keep breathing high and shallow. The brain, it will shut down the body, so you can learn to breathe through your stomach, and you can practice. And what I do with my patients is I get them to breathe through your stomach. You can practice, you can hold your tummy, and just breathe, and draw it in. And the more they do it, the more better they get at that. You're not going to master it overnight, because you don't have to draw it overnight. You've got to practice it. But they go away with that, and they get better. So breathing is key for peak mental state. You've got an interview, a presentation, a meeting, even a date. If you've got a date and you're nervous, then breathe through your stomach. Breathe. It will slow things down. Okay? It's useful stuff to do, and you can practice that away from here. The emotional flood exercise is a technique I sort of modify. I'm going to mention Robbins as a variation of it again. He's influenced my work, but also bigger influence on me is Jeffrey Zeig, who was one of Erickson's, the famous psychiatrist. Erickson, the therapist, was one of his main students, has been a mentor of mine. I've studied with him for a long time now. I sort of modify some of their things, and I come with this sort of technique myself, and you can practice if you want to, and I'll guide you through it. You can have the technique you want to build a stronger emotional state. So choose an emotion that you want to experience, be it love, gratitude. Has everyone got an emotion they'd like to experience? They'd like to feel? And we don't want to wait for things to help us feel it. Go there first. So choose an emotion and think of the time you experienced the emotion. You can't think of a time, think of a time that you had something similar to someone who does. Then the third part, if you'd like to close it, you can do, it's your call. Go to the feeling. Feel it. Feel love, feel gratitude, and hold on to it as long as you can. 30 seconds being ballpark figure. If negativity goes through your mind, then disintegrate. Don't fight it. Okay? And then come back at your own time. Strengthen the neural pathways in the brain. Strengthen, strengthen, strengthen. The more you put in, the more you get out. Do you eat one healthy meal, you fit for life? Do you do one session of personal training, you get healthy forever? You've got to keep doing it. You've got to keep doing it. Hypnotherapist, therapist, and group, you've got to encourage your clients to keep working. It's a lifestyle. You don't do one mindfulness session and you're mindful forever. Keep doing it. Okay? Is what I always say. It's a lifestyle thing, like anything else. And this you can, if you're a trainer, you can teach, providing us great performance, you can teach them. The better state they're in, the better results they're going to get. Okay? To be in the right state is key. Define yourself at your best. Who are you at your best? Okay? I want you to turn around to someone and tell them who you are at your best. And this might not be comfortable to some people, and go as far as you want to. You want to encourage people, your own children, you're a teacher, encourage them to not brag, but encourage them to talk about what they do well. They do a lot of good things well. When you do things well, what people tell you to talk about?
Show up.
Precisely. That's their negative. We can go there. If you're good at something, well, why not? What's wrong with that? There's certain societies that I work with people in certain parts of the world, but they're great, they're great. Ronaldo, and he's one of the greatest footballers of this generation anyway, he wouldn't have got there if he didn't believe that greatness. So where do you draw the line? So just an exercise very briefly. If you're comfortable doing it, tell someone who you are at your best. Define yourself. It's not easy, is it?
No. Don't like talk about it.
And even one word. Can we find a word? We've got a very talented group. Such a talented group. If you don't do it, I'm going to roll off a whole book on my strengths.
That's my answer.
Yeah. No, and do be careful you define it. Okay. Okay. No, we can't get a stop now. Okay, so that's sort of setting the scene for you to go forward. Okay, now you've started, you want to keep going. Well, you can keep going. Okay, the key to think about is I said earlier, about defining yourself. If you've got children, be mindful how they define. Okay, if you've got children, if someone says to a child, you're stupid, you're worthless, you're hopeless, what will they believe? So separate behaviour from the identity. Because if the child does something wrong, like kicks the ball at the TV, we say that's you're silly, it internalizes that. Clean language, meaning that we can separate behaviour, that was a silly thing to do, and do something different. The boss told you something you did wrong and focus on your identity, you internalize it. And careful how you let people define you, by the way. Okay? So what gets into my headspace in terms of definition? I choose how to define myself, and I delete comments, and always have done. And that's perceived as arrogance. It's not. It's purely on the basis that I know what I want, and if people don't like it, and they're critical, if it's not constructive, then I'll take it as a compliment, because they've gone out their way to see that in me. It's projecting their own security. And if you've got children, I would advise you to do what I tell my children. If you get anyone say negative to you, get it and throw it in the bin. And and take it as a compliment, because that screws their head up, not yours. Okay, sorry, I interrupted you.
No, it's what you just said at the end. My son is 40 now and he runs his own business. And yet I was talking to him the other week and he still remembers a teacher at secondary school saying, "You'll amount to nothing, lad." And now he keeps saying, "I feel like going back to that school." It's like he's held on to it, hasn't he?
Fine, exactly. People do. The intensity of the person who's saying it is key, and carefully finances. Memory selective, and think about to know what drives us, our values, our drivers. What's a great day for you? Now, what constitutes a great day for you? Is it useful to think about that? Because then you start thinking, okay, how do I want to live my life? I left a really well-paid job in football, and I had a great life. And I didn't have anything growing up. I was poor, bordering homeless, literally, in a non-forgiving environment. When I was working in football, I thought Christmas has all come at once. You know, money, status, everything you ever wish for. And I sort of, throughout the career, and I still work in the game now, I'm a consultant, I didn't leave financially. I left because I felt that there's got to be more. What works for me? So I would end up working in care homes, on education and secure unit, and I felt I was really making a difference. And then I'd make a difference there, I'd get big results, and I decided to do what I do now. I tour the world and do seminars, hundreds of people, because they want me to do it. I keep my passion, but I thought, okay, what constitutes a good day for me? And that's, we want to look at our drivers, our values, what we want out of life, what drives us. Okay, I think it was quite useful, and the great point you made there, to heal the past, is all things being well, and I think about it, if you could change anything about the way you're raised, what would it be? Don't be hard on yourself. Don't beat yourself up more than you need to. Have compassion, soothe yourself. Give yourself a big hug. It's okay to screw up. We all screw up. Just don't screw up too often, you get P45. But the key thing is that you can't change the past, but you can heal the past. True? And one of the ways to do that, because we know biologically, psychologically, sociologically is the person you are through a lot of experiences you've had in life. Biologically, we might have a default. We inherit, maybe. Some people debate me on that. They inherit skin colour, hair colour, shape, teeth, nose. So my suspicion is we inherit also default. So if you chose great parents, and there were these wonderful parents who had a great default, and they passed great genetic on to you, and you grew up in a lovely environment, like the John Lewis said, where they all are loving, and the kids at Christmas time open the presents up nicely, the two parents. I was doing a seminar the other day for people, family support. We had a bit of a laugh at functionally dysfunctional. There's no functionality of the criteria that we use. But the point is that if you were taken at 2-year-old and the local drug dealer took you because they wanted a baby and they couldn't have one, and you grew up in a world of nasty and violence, would you be different today, do you think, from growing up in a nice family? Of course you would, because psychologically, mindset, sociologically has an impact too. Did you ask for that if that happened to you as a 2-year-old? Did you hack? You didn't control that. So don't beat yourself up. The reason you are where you are is not your fault completely. When I do weight reduction clients, I tell them not to beat themselves up, because they're keeping themselves up, they're keeping the same results. Because you have 2 biscuits out of a packet, and you beat yourself up, you demolish the whole packet. You've had 2, it's fine. Nothing in the world. Next time. So we really want to have compassion. Not every favorite compassion, wishy-washy. Because we take 2 forward, 3 back. The person's beaten themselves up anyway for a long time. We don't need to beat them up any more than they already have. Okay, so think in your own mind, if you could change anything the way you were raised, what would it be? Moments in your life, maybe the teacher wouldn't have said that. But we can't control that. Heal it. Put it to bed. You write a note to the teacher. Tell your son, write a metaphorical letter to the teacher saying how they felt. Let it go. It's gone now. What happened then is not now, not the future. First place in letting go, in my mind, is acceptance, not resignation, not living in denial. If the emotion's there, it's there. And I'll do a quick technique afterwards, it's not a thing that we can do. So what memories will you treasure? Think about your treasured memories. Start going back in the past and bring them. Some of your treasured memories got the muddy water, because not every memory is perfect, but bring it. write down a couple of treasured memories, or at least think about it. Get the brain working again. Get it firing again. Okay? These are key things. Get the mind digging subconsciously. Okay? Relaxation training. Who's got cats? Are they cool? They're relaxed. Yeah, they know what to do. They've got it all worked out. Okay? And who feels therapeutic around cats? Who feels calm? Because they're calm. Food, water. Maybe not your cats. Not your cats aren't calm.
No, I'm allergic to
Okay, well there we go. Okay, yeah. That's a good point. Yeah. Well, don't go into the cat.
That's like the assumption, isn't it?
Yeah, precisely, precisely. And people sometimes they like to be around animals because they can be, because animals are in them now. They're very present. A dog loves you unconditionally. Anyone got a dog? The dog doesn't judge you. The dog doesn't make judgment. You ate a chocolate biscuit, you're a horrible person. The dog doesn't say that. The dog doesn't say you didn't do that report, you did that. The dog, non-judgment, loves you anyway. Just feed it, water it, all cool, all good. Peace, love and peace, you know. So relaxation training for me, when I'm doing exercise with you, is deregulating. And if you'd like to close your eyes, you can. It's entirely up to you. But being more self-aware. And as you close your eyes, if you do close your eyes, and if you don't close your eyes, you leave your eyes open, but focus on the spot on the wall, and just let your thoughts go. There's nowhere for you to be. Go, this is your time. Okay? And just relax and be aware of any sensation in the body. And as you're aware of sensation in the body, you might be aware of your heartbeat. As you're aware of your heartbeat, you might be aware of your breathing. As you're aware of breathing, just bring it down and relax. Just hold that and imagine a river flowing, and the river's flowing with your thoughts. Imagine a river flowing with your thoughts. Letting them go, not resisting. And you can empty any thoughts in the bin bag, pick them up and you wish to let yourself go. Just let things flow. And as you let things flow, like the sound of the fruits in the background, just a nice sound, you relax, you calm, bring your heart rate down. And if you want to come back to the here and now, you can. Don't stay where you are, you can stay. I'm sure that Kate will wake up tomorrow. And as you come back to the here and now, and you can email me, time sort of getting the best of us now. I'm going to go through things a little bit quicker than we were before, but great to do that every day. Imagery is great. Okay, imagery, you go to your safe place. Okay, you can imagine one time I was demonstrating imagery to some staff. I can't go into too much detail. The work I do and did at the time for the Air Force, but you can imagine it's quite an intense environment. And you can imagine when I was teaching them to do decompression and imagery, which is a big thing, by the way. One of the chief people in the back said, who for whatever reason didn't take a liking to me. Why anyone wouldn't like me, I don't know. More corporate than I am. Maybe a lot of this was too much in the environment, I don't know. But they really enjoyed the work I did. But he said halfway through I was doing this, he goes, that's a load of bollocks. And he said that. I said, okay, dude, I won't challenge on that because being a very experienced hypnotherapist, we know we can sort of go off into the story. And I said, okay, would you like to come to the front? He came to the front. And I said, I'm going to go experiment with you. I'll take your heart rate now and blood pressure. I'm not maybe qualified, but it's a bit of an experiment. I took it 10 minutes in. When he started, it was 90 BPM, 69 range. 10 minutes visualization, 70 BPM. 20 beats a minute, probably 10,000 metrics on the heart. He says, how long will it last? I go, as long as it lasts. Do it again. What if it doesn't last the whole day? Well, like someone who's got pain relief tablet, you take again. But this has no side effect. Okay? And I said, let's do an experiment. Run to the room and back again. I'm going to ask you a pressing question. And you've got to answer it. With your heart rate going up there. Then visualize for 5 minutes. And I'll ask you again to see how more clear you are. Clarity. So I'll do the process with you very briefly, any recording. And that's fine. Because I'm not going to argue with anybody. I'll tell you the benefits. And that's your call. No agenda. Don't listen to anybody. My sales pitch is simple. Set your stall out, people take it, they leave it. So you can give it a go and do some imagery. If you'd like to close your eyes, you can do. And you go back to a time where you felt safe and secure and calm. And as you do, there might be a holiday, a vacation, a staycation, some time with family or friends, and as you go back, you will be breathing your heartbeat. As you will be breathing and heartbeat, notice you see colours, sounds, feelings, or you hear, and breathe naturally normal. Any sounds, the sound in the background might be like a sound that you heard while you're at a beach and you can hear the waves in the background. As you notice the waves in the background, you become aware of any sounds, maybe plane flying past. As you're aware of a plane flying past, notice the feelings. Let those feelings spread from every cell of the body. And as you let them spread from every cell of the body, just hold that thought for a moment. And you can anchor it if you want to. If you want to anchor it, you can do. With a physical gesture. Hold thumb together, twist back. If you want to, so call. And as you anchor it or remember it, that's your safe place. Okay? And in your own time and your own pace, come back to the here and now. Okay? So you might feel more relaxed now, you might feel relaxed later, you might feel relaxed tomorrow, you might feel relaxed in a week or so, but you create your own safe place. And you might get bored of that place and you can go to another place. With my clients, they might get bored of going to the same place all the time. So we'll go somewhere else. Audio. The iTunes you hear that I do, they're very generic. They're not tailored, but they will help some people, not everybody. But I have a very tailored approach, which is quite neutral. I use a neutral language. And that helps me, I can fire off in whatever direction that's necessary, which is another story for another day. And I'll just look at your acuity and see your response. It's hardly a group session, but individual sessions you can sort of fire off. There we go. Exercise is great. Okay. If you don't have how many personal trainers have we got in group? Okay, got 2. There you go. Sign up. Go for it. And I'll tell you the best exercise more than I can. I know one thing for sure is that people take all sorts of stuff. I'm going to say rubbish now, I shouldn't say that. To feel better. Dan, you can walk through 10 minutes and you get endorphins in the brain. You feel good. If you could put down a tablet, you'd make trillions. Seriously, they're probably going to have a go at doing that. And they do have all these things. I'm not against medication. I know on the radio being controversial in the past. I've never been against it. I'm just saying doctors should also have education to teach people the other stuff too, where applicable. Because these things promote well-being too. And if you suppress good emotion, if you suppress bad emotion, what else is suppress? Good emotion too. So you take a tablet to suppress emotion, we're human beings, we're meant to feel. Feeling is normal. So people, out of anger, Martin Luther King was angry, he did good, didn't he? Mother Teresa, Rosa Parks, they out of what we call negative, did good stuff. So we can do good stuff, good songwriters. We don't want to have to suppress. And I'm not against medic, I'm not a medical person, some people might need it, but these correct chemicals do. Encourage. The only thing I would say, sport is good too. If you can socially interact, swim with your family, play badminton with family, partner. There we go. We can play with the ghost if you want to. That sort of stuff. And you can do it. And the only thing I would say with sport, the only problem you're going to have with sport, anyone know what issues with sport? If you play with certain people and you get beat, it's not good. Then you need a therapist. If you play with your family and lose to your kids, don't let them win. Don't say they'll beat you. I've got a friend of mine, if he beats me, he'll never let him live. So I don't play against him. He's too good for me in certain sports. I'll pick and choose. Because that's half the battle line. So choose sports that you're good at. No, but seriously, you know, near where I live in the UK, I'm in the UK and I travel everywhere these days. I live near some beautiful countryside in this country. Whenever I do a session, I'll just decompress and go for a walk. Walk around the lake, countryside. I feel magnificent. And I'll smell the countryside, the flowers, and just walk around and feel the crisp air and really, really feel it, you know. Really, really feel it. It's great stuff. We don't do anywhere enough of it, I think, anyway. Perspective exercise. I want to write down a challenge you've got in your life. See if you can find 5 different ways of seeing it. Okay? I'll give you a minute to do the exercise. Write down a challenge you've got in your life and see if you can see it 5 different ways. Rewind and pray. Okay, how else can I see it? How can I see the opportunity? Okay? Who's lost a job in the past and found a better job? the relationship breaks down, you find a more appropriate one. So things happen in life, don't they? So we're going to train the brain not to be every very quality analyzed, wonderful. It's not always wonderful to be productive, to go forward. By doing it once, you've built a pathway in brain that wasn't there already. It's not for everybody's size, you've got to be ready to do it, but it can make a huge difference.
By different perspectives. Because when you said that, I thought of a situation and then thought of 5 different people looking at the situation.
And that's a great point too, right? You could do that too. Okay.
Right.
Why not? Why not? And let's be able to experiment. I mentioned the girl earlier about the presentation was an issue. I said, go talk to presenters who are just starting out and see their perspective. And they were enforced, they were all nervous too. So it's okay to be nervous. So you could do that. There's no exact science. But you could also say, okay, it could be a challenge. You might have lost a job. And you might think, well, actually, this is, if not a great opportunity, you can be more neutral. I've lost a job before, I'll get one again. In a more productive place. You're not social avoidance. You're out there. So in a better place, rewire brain and seeing it differently. Not for every situation, by the way, but for certain situations. It works really well. You do it anyway without realizing it. Why not do it consciously? Okay. And you can do the exercise, you can share it, and some of your biggest adversity will be your biggest victories. I assure you that. You'll go to places that you might not want to be there, or have no intention of staying there, but they'll teach you a lot about yourself. Pain is a part of life, I'm afraid. Things happen. We teach kids a lot in school about maths, algebra, which is useful to a point, but we don't sort of teach them life skills. They're going to go through stuff, I'm afraid. And not every challenge is going to be in the classroom. I write gratitude lists. Anyone write gratitude list in group? Every morning, gratitude list. And the times when you don't feel like doing it, the time you should do it. Fear can't live in gratitude. It will not coexist with a grateful mind. The best gift you can give any children, if you're a teacher or you're a parent, is the gift of being grateful for what they've got. So write down a couple of things you're grateful for. If you can't think of anything you're grateful for, then you're alive. That's a good place to start. But feel it. With family, friends, really feel it. Go to the feeling. Okay. And you might want to close your eyes if you want to, don't have to, you don't want to, but feel what you're grateful for. Go to the feeling. It's powerful. Gratitude is powerful. And you do it in the morning when the mind is at a level of frequency that's susceptible. When you hear a song you don't like, it stays in your head. It'll get into your head. That's what you want to do when we go to bed at night. Anyone watch a scary film at night, you know it's not real, but you can get a bad dream about it. Input in, input out. So really make sure what goes in here, powerful. If you're not grateful for what you have, you'll never be grateful for what you've got. Okay, gratitude, this is great. Things that you can do. As a coach, therapist, I always go for sleep hygiene. Sleeping well is key. If you're not sleeping well, how do you feel? You don't sleep well. It's hard to make decisions. So sleep is key. Okay, good place to start. Meditation, have a period, at least one day a week to disconnect devices, movement, gratitude, at least accept ourselves. These things here, a bit there, a bit here, you raise your vibration up, raise your energy level up. And good things happen when you raise your energy levels up. People like being around people who have got high energy level. Okay, you know when you go into a room, there's been an argument, you don't even hear the argument, but you can feel it. You've got vibration. There's another story from another day, and these things help you to be in a good place. Okay? Enjoy the moment. Every moment. Learn to be in the moment. All that you want to feel better. I'm a big believer in goals, big goal setter. I set many goals in my life and have many goals at the moment, but I know that if I don't feel good now, I'll never feel good. All that you want why? Because you want things to make you feel better. So whatever you want, go to the feeling first. Okay? So choose a goal, and what would it feel like when you've got the goal? I could never imagine Stephen Jobs or a Da Vinci doing a SMART goal. I imagine they would have really felt it, creatively. So feel the goal that you want. And people might say it's fabricated, it's rubbish, it's not real. You can feel it. You never know how to achieve it. Okay? This guy at seminar once did 100 people, 200 people come to seminar, and he goes, what a lot of rubbish that is, because I've broken up with my partner. 2 year, want a new partner, and I feel like crap, I feel rubbish. I said, okay, well, you want to go? I said, what sort of partner do you want? She said, I want someone who's upbeat, vibrant, and positive. I said, well, don't be a visual bastard, you won't find someone. So the key is that you raise your vibration. And you don't know we do it, do we? So a good place to start yourself. If you're a teacher and you want kids to be motivated, then you go to motivation first. If you're a parent, then you go there first. It's no good telling your kids not to smoke if you smoke, because they'll not listen. They'll watch what you do, not what you say. Behind the behaviours of belief, people can blah, 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 blah all the time, but they'll watch what you do. So really, go to the feeling first, you're in a better place. If you get up tomorrow morning, you feel great, you feel in a good place, you're going to have a better day, better decisions. Go to the feeling first, okay? Because then you won't suffer from delusion. Because I've worked across everywhere you can imagine, in places that are very affluent, the most affluent parts in America, they've got the highest levels of depression, and you wonder why. Why, I asked myself when I was there, not all of them are that way, because some are fine, but why I was thinking one time, and countries like, not everyone is, it's a generalisation, but being in places like Thailand, people got nothing, they have the fridge, and they upbeat jovial. I left my phone last time, I was doing some Thai boxing, competing, and my phone and my wallet, and I left it there. I got 1 too many hits in the head, and someone chased after me to give it back. I thought, what does this woman want? Carrying bags and whatever. And she, here you go. I said, you don't want any money for it? No, I don't want it. Okay, I'm very big on Buddhist philosophy, and I'm a spiritual teacher out there, and I realised that it's not always what you have. But I'm not saying I'm not against materialism. Great. If you like it, fantastic. I've got some nice material things, but it's not the be all end all. I could leave one tomorrow. I don't care. I honestly would not care. But I like it, and I go for it. And why not? I work hard. And so should people have what they want. You can have whatever you want. Whatever you want, you can have. Okay? List 3 things you can do tomorrow in the good state you're in to achieve a goal you want. Okay? 3 things you can do. Could be a website, could be call someone, corporation, corporate personal training. Get in there. Someone else will be done. Action it. Every day I get up in the morning, I think, what 5 things I can do to improve my life in different areas of business. What can I do? 5 things to take it forward. Who can I call? Who can I see? Who can I meet? What can I do? Because if we're thinking forward, if we're standing still, what happens? But before I do that, in all honesty, I go to a strong emotional state first. I exercise, incantation, is the motivational speaker, get in a good state, then I'm ready for it. Like, let's have it. Whatever. Let's take it on. No problem. Whatever comes. Issue. I was doing a seminar in Thailand, hundreds of people, and they had a blackout on the island. And the people before me, the spiritual guys that were going to do talk before me, were doing some sort of, I don't know what it was anyway, but they refused to do it. And they said, Jim, you can go if you want. I said, no, I'll do it. You sure you want to do it? Dark. I'll do it. I'm here, we do it. It goes ahead. We get candles. Whatever, we do it. So it's that sort of attitude. When I first went into football, I did an internship. I got paid nothing. But I knew it proved my worth. And I wasn't affluent, had no money. I had to do 10 jobs to support myself. I knew at some point, by doing internship for free, I'll prove myself. Because I'll back myself. Call it what you will, but think 3 things you can do to do, surround yourself with good people. I've been very fortunate to always source good people. Okay? People can't make you anything, but they can impact on you. You've got, I suppose, right liability list. We've got people in our family, I suppose, that I've got plenty of those in mind. I'm not going to get rid of them, they're there. But ultimately, I also push myself to meet people. I go to public speaking groups. When I first started public speaking all those years ago, I could compete as an athlete to thousands of people. I could play in a band, fine. Put me in a room like this, I'd be looking the other way. I joined a group called Toastmasters. I'm not in commission with them, public speaking group, but I emphasise they're great because they're all speakers there. And I joined them years ago, I improved, got better, and I rejoined 2 for a year ago just to compete and try and win a few awards, have a bit of fun. Because I'm around people who encourage me as a speaker. And that was great. I'm not saying to join them, but I'm saying find people where you want to go. We have a morbid fascination in our society to put people with people who've got the same issues as them. You'll look at the wound. It's ridiculous. I work in defending institutions, I know what it's like. Care homes, they want to group them all together, so they go on with one thing and they go on with 10 more things. Put them in a good environment, you've got a better chance. Put yourself in a good environment with people who sort of go ahead in life, and if you have to walk away, you walk away. Now, I don't advise you should be friendly or whatever, but what I would say is that the impact it will have on you becomes your reality. If you've got energy sappers around you, they'll drain your energy. There's plenty of them out there. Okay, and if they need help, they find the proper channels to help them. Okay, people, because I'm a therapist coach, you can imagine the conversations I have at dinner tables. They all want me to cure the world's problems. I'm like, no, I'm not going there. If you want me to help you, email me, and if I can, I will. If not, I'll refer you somewhere else. Do it properly, professionally. Because I'm not for secondary gain. If I listen to you, there's a very good chance that you're getting gain out of it. You're getting something out of it. Because this guy who worked in care home is showing me all dislocate her arm every week, and she'd do it every time she goes to A&E. She'd get fluffy toys and hugs and love and everything else that went with it. And then she'd go to the care home and the fluffy toys, hugs and love. And I said, you might want to not reward behaviour, not draw attention to it. And I said, Jim, you're a cold, miserable bastard. I said, well, she keeps doing that, she's going to lose her arm. Reward behaviour, do more of it. If you listen to that person all the time, they're going to get adulation out of it. They need help from proper channels. Okay. And today we sort of draw an end, and I'll just do a brief exercise with you before we break and finish up. It can be a springboard for you. I talked about the RAIN model. You can use that, and if you recognise an emotion that's causing discomfort, you think of an emotion that's causing discomfort, and you think about it, you can close your eyes if you want to. And as you close your eyes, accept it's there, don't fight it, let it come in, and talk to it. So what's it telling you? Investigate it, talk to the emotion, accept it's not resignation. This too shall pass, it won't last forever. Good emotions pass, so the negative ones. And talk to it. What do you want me to do? What are you wanting? What's behind the feeling? What are my thoughts? And as you do that, you can look at a new way of seeing it. Welcome it, embrace it. It's guiding you, maybe not where you want to be, where you need to be, and when you get to where you need to be, you go to where you want to be. Because life is about lessons learned. Okay? I didn't put that in the slide. You can come back in your own time, your own pace, but you can have it on any month you want at the RAIN model. Really good technique you can use. All these collectively will put you in a peak mental state. If you do this every day, or some of these techniques every day, where applicable, take what's right for you. If you are seeing someone as a coach, you might want to run it by them or therapist first if they're okay with it. Like, I need help people with education, I can't treat anybody about where you are. It's all educational purposes, but all things being well, they're great tools that you can use. Because you take a bit there, a bit of exercise, a bit of meditation, a bit of mindfulness, incantations, a bit here, a bit there. Soon you raise your vibration level up. The HPI, 0 to 10, 100 even, gets higher. It doesn't happen overnight, but you can make a big dent overnight. Because you didn't get to where you are overnight. It's taking years to get there. Just like weight, you don't go to bed one night and wake up and you've got 3 or 4 stone. It takes time. And these people have got unrealistic expectations of losing it in a week because they've heard someone done it in a controlled environment, be it medically, be it some sort of person on TV, very controlled, doesn't last for long anyway. They don't realise that a pound and a half is probably as much as you're going to go. It's lifestyle change. Okay? Because the equation's easy, eat less, exercise more. On paper, logically. Well, we don't play on paper, emotions play a big part. If you feel better, and they try to tackle the obesity issue, they focus so much on food, they made it even more challenging. Focus on the emotion-driven behaviour. And work together. I mean, you know, with personal trainers, nutritionists, we should work as a team. We've got in the pharmaceutical, we've got GP, work together. That's my moral of the story. Work together. I certainly have many close leads with people across a broad range of areas. I'm very holistic. Holistic in the sense that I uncover every stone, not reductionist. Because some people claim to be holistic, they're very reductional. They only go in their approach. Okay? As Shaman Hale said to me that he was very holistic. I said, well, what approach do you use? The chakras. I said, really? Do you use anything else? No. I said, well, you're equally as reductionist the person you claim to be reductionist, the mainstream, because you don't look at the big picture. The person could have lost their sister, they could have had a trauma, they could have had other things, lost a job. We've got to factor all that in their well-being. Not all is about alignment, and that's where I am for Lism. I will try every start uncover. I'll liaise and fire an email or a GP, I'll do that. And I've been in this business long enough to see things that don't make sense on paper. They're not logical, but I know all things are possible. Okay, if you believe, and you can have the presentation you want to, your call, any notes, if you didn't receive them, you can email me. This being the springboard, more on social media, the stream I'll put out as well for you to get the second part seminar. You watch it. The more you put in, the more you get out. Okay, I've been doing this stuff for about a million years. I worked in various levels, in sport and business, and across the broad range of areas. And I'd like to think at this stage of my career, and I think it's all about behaviour and human change, and people can surprise you. You could wake up tomorrow and you could get to a situation where enough's enough. And I know what we say to people who don't realise how powerful it is, but I know doing 7.5 years ago, I did some corporate work in Milton Keynes, and the guy that held the door open for me to go into the seminar, to go into the training I was delivering in Milton Keynes for a company there, goes, "You don't remember, do you, Jim?" I said, "No, I don't." I thought at one point it might be something like that. And he goes, "No, but what it was, I came to a seminar a few years ago in the Northwest, and Mum had died at the time. She was all I had. Dad was on the scene. Girlfriend left him. I didn't know what to do with myself. I was going to drop out of uni and do all sorts of horrible things to himself. There's a few things that you said that I took on board. I didn't ask him what they were, they were personal. He goes, "Here I am. I'm director of the company. Welcome aboard. Sort my staff out. Like you help me." So what you say, you might not realise is a big impact, but I know from one of my mentors, Dr. Jeff, and his mentor being Erickson, the power of words is powerful. Not to tread on eggshells, but you realise one word could facilitate an idea, an association, an action. So it's not all about jumping in, willpower. It's also taking calculated action. Bit here, bit there, bit everywhere, and then you roll on the way. A day, bang. You know what a difference a day makes, and you're on the way. So that's about all I've got, really. I mean, I'll be around maybe a few minutes longer. I know you guys want to close up early start tomorrow, but if you've got any brief questions, feel free to fire away, or you can email me if you want to. Anything else?
I was just going to say, you're a personal trainer, aren't you? And me as well. I think there's not enough personal trainers who focus on the mental state. So I think that's really something you could like have as your kind of spin on it.
I think,
Because it is
Yeah.
starts
And
all
does
that.
stress relief or something.
Yeah.
That's what I think about more than exercise.
Yes. Which is a big driver, isn't it? Yeah.
Because you were saying that they focus very much on exercise and nutrition, but
Yeah.
it has to start in
For
mind.
sure, that's a big part. And if you're not comfortable doing that, and you go as far as you can, I mean, on the article, right, and you find somewhere in the middle, you can refer. If they have an issue that's clinical, then say, well, you probably better see a GP for that. Because I did a seminar once in Scotland, and someone said to me, well, what would you do for bipolar, for personal training? I said, well, before you call them, call their psychologist first. Because you wouldn't want them to be in a situation where you encourage them to go to training and you don't know what the condition is, and they end up jumping in front. So I said, liaise with people. But I do agree, I think it's really important that we work on the mental side. If we're out of that comfort zone, becomes clinical, and it's not around performance, getting A to B, then it might be an idea to say, you know what, go see a GP, get the help you need, it makes your job easier. Because they deal with the issues they've got underlying, it's better, and it's a great point. I think more personal trainers should do that. Certainly when I did conditioning work and did in sport, they used to say to me, you also work on the mind, when are you going to start working on mind? I'd underpin all physical stuff. Mind, body being one system, by the way. Another story for another day, but great point. And I think some of these things, you could do the goal, go as far as you can. But start going to the clinical side, and it might be okay, we'll go get the help you need, which is what I would do anyway. And, certainly from a safeguarding point of view, but the mind is a big thing, and it makes your job a lot easier if they get the right help and they're on the way. We encourage people to talk, not suffer in silence, like a lot of people do. Most people don't talk because they're afraid. Okay, so thank you all. Mighty talk.
Thank you.